Warm greetings, Code Monkeys, and welcome back to CodedLockFilms. And welcome to another review revisit. Way back when I first started doing my Disney Direct DVD reviews, I took a look at a little sequel known as Beauty and the Beast: The Enchanted Christmas.
Disney, oh Disney, you shaped most of my childhood, yes you mean a lot to me.
Rest assured, my opinions on the movie have not changed since that review. What has changed, however, are my perspectives and my reviewing style. I fully admit that back when I made that video, I really had no idea what I was doing or who I wanted to be as a critic, and as a result, I fell into the angry reviewer stereotype. It was sort of the default form of comedic reviewing at the time. These days, I prefer to be a little bit more analytical. And while I still seek to entertain and get laughs, I now spend a bit less time just making fun of something that doesn't work, and spend more time discussing A, why something doesn't work, and B, how I think it could have worked. It is with this in mind that I would like to take another look at Beauty and the Beast: The Enchanted Christmas. Because believe it or not, there actually is a good idea in here. It just happens to be buried beneath multiple layers of poor execution. So please, be my guest as we revisit Beauty and the Beast: The Enchanted Christmas.
Code Monkey, get up, get coffee. Code Monkey, go to job. Code Monkey, have boring meeting with boring manager Rob. Rob say Code Monkey very diligent, but his output stink. His code not functional or elegant. What do Code Monkey think? Code Monkey think maybe manager wanna write goddamn login page himself. Code Monkey not say it out loud. Code Monkey not crazy, just proud. Code Monkey like Fritos. Code Monkey like Tab and Mountain Dew. Code Monkey very simple man with big warm fuzzy secret heart. Code Monkey like you. Code Monkey like you.
So the basic idea behind this movie is that it takes place during the events of the original movie. After all, if it took place afterwards, it would pretty much just be Beauty and the Prince. Now, I'd actually like to see more stories from Disney that take place post-Happily Ever After, but I get that a big part of what makes Beauty and the Beast unique is the setting, and the setting kind of drastically changes after the movie's over, so okay, we're keeping it during Enchanted time, fair enough. But then you run into the problem of when to set the movie, because by necessity, this story pretty much has to happen during the second act of the original movie. What they do to solve this problem is actually pretty smart. They essentially take the Something There montage from the first movie and stretch it out into a full-length film. And you know what? I see no reason why that couldn't work. So we're gonna explore the early stages of how Belle and the Beast finally started to get along. I can dig it. The problem is, they don't really do that.
When I get to know him, we'll find more things to say. One day I will reach him, there has to be a way.
Yeah. So the thing about Beauty and the Beast is that there are some people who accuse it of basically being a textbook example of Stockholm Syndrome in action. For anyone who may not know what Stockholm Syndrome is, it's a psychological phenomenon where a hostage over time starts to sympathize with their captor and actually begins to crave their captivity. And pay close attention because this bit's really important. Stockholm Syndrome is characterized by the hostage mistaking a lack of abuse by the captor for an act of kindness. I have never bought into this notion because in the first film, Beast has a pretty decent period of time in which he's not generally being actively cruel to Belle, and just sort of leaves her to her own devices in the castle, but during that time, Belle still has a very active dislike for the guy. Even after he actively saves her life, she still isn't terribly fond of him. It isn't until after that period of time when he starts making a very real effort to do actual, tangible, nice things for her and be more polite that she starts to warm up to him. He makes real, legitimate changes to his life and his personality, and it is those changes that Belle is taken in by. At least that's what the first movie tells us.
When I get to know him, we'll find more things to say. One day I will reach him.
Are you starting to understand why this movie makes me so angry? Belle's characterization does a complete 180 from the original film and ends up stranded somewhere between Snow White and Cinderella territory. Now it's her that's reaching out to him, despite the fact that she has no earthly reason to do so. But what really ticks me off about this movie is that not only is it just bad, it wastes an opportunity to silence some of the Beauty and the Beast naysayers. How? Well, much of it has to do with the villain. Said villain is a master musician turned pipe organ named Forte, voiced by Tim Curry. And really, he's just about the only thing in this movie that I can stand. Tim Curry, after all, is the kind of guy that makes you shiver with anticipation. But I also see in the character of Forte shades of things that could have made this movie great. One of the simplest and best ways to demonstrate to your audience that something is good is by contrasting it with something that is similar in many ways, but because of a few key differences is actually bad. What better way to show that Belle and the Beast have a healthy relationship dynamic than by contrasting it with an unhealthy one? Forte has two basic motivations in this movie. One is to stay as a pipe organ because he wants to be immortal, and given the fact that this is what he looks like as a human, I can't really blame the guy. But his second motivation is kind of a darker version of the motivations of the other characters turned household objects. Basically, the servants of the castle all just want to feel appreciated. They want to feel as though they're doing a good job. They want to matter. And the thing about Forte is that he's really only good at writing one type of music. And it's the kind of depressing, somber music you'd sort of expect a lonely, alienated guy like the Beast to enjoy. Forte was never made to feel useful because the prince never liked Forte's music before the curse was put on the castle. But now that the Beast has kind of fallen into general gloom and despair, Forte is suddenly relevant. His melancholy melodies are exactly what the Beast wants now. So the relationship between them, rather than being characterized by mutualism, is more like parasitism. In order for Forte to be happy, the Beast has to remain miserable. Contrast that with the mutually beneficial relationship of Belle and the Beast, and you've really got something. Use that as a way to further demonstrate the progression of their relationship from hostile beginnings to happy coexistence. But rather than do anything like that, we get this!
When I get to know him, I, for one, think a little Christmas cheer would do him some good. This is a perfect day for skating. One day I will reach him.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I think I've got it!
I wasn't trying to leave. I just wanted to make you happy.
Ah! I just don't understand why they felt the need to completely go against everything established in the first movie, and why they tacked on all this extraneous Christmas nonsense when it's ultimately useless to the story. The Christmas angel isn't an interesting character, the Christmas imagery isn't much to look at, and there's really no reason to make the Beast hate Christmas. He's already a perfectly grumpy character, why does he need to be the Grinch on top of that? I know that the period of time in which this movie is set is winter, but that is not a good enough reason. But hell, if you really want to make it about Christmas, you can do that. In fact, I've got a pretty easy fix in mind. Just switch it around and make it about the Beast trying to make Christmas as pleasant for Belle as possible, even while she constantly spurns his affections. That alone would solve so many problems. Angelique would be more interesting because instead of being angry and cynical for no reason, she's angry and cynical because now the guy who packed her away never to be taken out again is asking for her help. Forte could still be a part of it because as the Beast's efforts keep failing, Forte could keep pushing him deeper into depression, thus reinforcing that contrast I was talking about. And in addition to all of that, you could add another dimension to Belle's character by adding in an Elizabeth Bennet-style sense of prejudice to her, wherein she refuses to see the good in the Beast despite all his attempts to show her that he's changing. This, my friends, is ultimately why this movie irritates me so much. It's not simply the fact that it doesn't work, it's that there are so many ways in which it could have worked, and nothing in this world irritates me more than wasted potential. And with that, I think I have finally put this one to rest. I am satisfied. I am well and truly done with the Enchanted Christmas. Please let me know in the comments if you have any additional thoughts on this movie or this review, and until next time, Code Monkeys, I will see you later. anticipation. Now, I'd actually like to see more stories from Disney that play. Really, Jake? What is it, Jake? You come into this room and, like, you stare at me and you make snorty noises, like, every single time I sit down to make a video. What do you want? Well, I don't know what you want, but what you're getting is the backyard. So we're gonna explore the early stages of how Belle and the Beast started. Why would I ever put Beast and started back to back? That's 2 STs in a row. That's awful. Belle and the Beast finally started to get along. I can dig it. Dig it! Do you guys hear it? Can you hear the dog coming? Yeah, you're pushing your way into my room. If you want to come in here, you can, but lay down and be quiet. You good? Go lay down. Go lay down. You can lay down there, that's fine. Just lay down and don't make noise.